Okay, question number 3. County government is currently doing the right thing financially on behalf of the taxpayer. Why or why not? Goes up and down there. If you need the question repeated, we'll feel free to ask.
Yeah, I believe that right now there's a lot going on with the budget. There have been a lot of mandates brought into our courthouse from the legislature, and of course they'll fund those mandates up to a certain amount, but then the courthouse has to take up the difference, make up the difference for what those mandates did not pay for. There have been several of those the last few years. I know last year that Precinct, well, all the precincts took a cut in pay. They slashed their budgets, I should say, not them personally, but they slashed their budgets so they could get expenditures under control. It's difficult in a setting like this, where you have so many people that are involved, and all your employees, from those that are doing janitorial work to those that are sitting on the bench. Everybody has a part, and we hate to start having to cut those, to cut out those things that really will hurt someone, or will keep them from maybe doing their job as well. So I think they're doing the best they can with what they're working on right now.
Do you believe the county government is currently doing the right thing financially on behalf of the taxpayer? Why or why not?
I believe for the situation that we're in, they are doing the best job that they can. As Martin stated earlier, the state has mandated us to refurbish our jails because they were not up to code. They're mandating us to put more staff in there, more medical. And like he said, they only do a portion of that. And that portion is 30%. The county comes up with the other 70%. That is a huge burden on taxpayers, because the legislator puts it down on us. For what they have and the hand that they're dealt, I believe they're doing the best job that they can. Please.
Do you believe the county government is currently doing the right thing financially on behalf of the taxpayer? Why or why not?
I believe they are too. They're doing the best they can. It's like everybody else has said, the state has so much control. The only way we can do better, I think, is to have growth in the county. And I was told here a while back, there's more people dying in Eastland County than there is people moving into Eastland County. We're losing lots of tax dollars, but we need somehow or another to gain more.
Mr. Gentry?
I believe Eastland County is doing everything they can, the Commissioner's Court, with what they've got to work with and the things that have been coming down from the state. The last 4 years I've worked close with the state, trying to understand what they're doing, where they're going, why they're putting us through this. I've gained relationships in Austin, and at some point I feel we're going to have to fight back. We're going to have to say, no, enough's enough. We're going to have county sovereignty just like we need state sovereignty. If they're going to come in and offer us money for this and that, and it turns out to be not a good deal for us, then we're going to have to, be able to stand on our own and stay away from it. I believe if we run our own county, stay as far away from the state handout, the state funding, I think we'll be better off in the long run. Thank you.
As far as the commissioners they're doing the best they can with what they've got to do with. Like everybody says, the biggest part of the problem is the state legislature makes mandatory stuff for us, the county, to do. They do not try to reimburse us for anything. They make, like the jail out here, they got different the medical, if one of the inmates needs to go to the doctor, the county has to foot the bill. If the inmate don't have any money to pay for it, then they might get a little bit out of their commissary account, which don't amount to nothing but maybe 10% of what the bill was and everything. And like the medical, that is one of the biggest problems with the jail today is the medical issues that we have to take the inmates and get all their medicals taken care of, and we have to pay for it. There's another one that come down, and we're not really sure what is going to happen to it in jails, Satan, that they're looking at putting a psychologist into the jail for each county jail to check on the inmates, their mental capacity and everything else. They haven't really figured out how or what they're going to do on that yet. You know, it's still up in the air, but that's just one or two mandates, and they're not paying for any of the mandates that they're telling us that we have to do at the jails and everything. So really, everybody's doing the best they can right at the moment with what we do without the help of the state and everything.
Thank you. Okay, next question, Mr. Marks will be the first responder. What are your views on the current levels of county debt?
Current views on the county debt.
Yes.
Well, I don't agree with it. I don't like it, and I don't think anybody else likes it. It's something that we're having to deal with due to the budget deficits that we're going through, due to the more mandates that the state is putting on us for more money that the county is having to front. And in turn, that is hurting the taxpayers. It is digging into your pockets more. It's digging into my pockets more. I don't like it, but I'm the last person that wants my taxes raised. But I know for a fact these blue jeans I'm wearing did not cost the same back in 1980 as they do today. If we don't evolve, we're going to dissolve. It's going to happen. We have to get a hold of it, and we have to do what we can to help.
What's the question?
Yes, sir. Says, what are your views on the current levels of county debt?
You know, I really don't know. I don't know how we can solve the problem. The county's just getting by, just with what they have. I don't think there's any money being spent that don't need to be spent. I really don't know how we can fix it though.
Sometimes I don't know is the correct answer. Mr. Gentry.
My views on the county debt, it's serious. You know, we're plagued with a debt that, as I said a while ago, we've got people dying off, nobody coming in, we're not building homes, we're not creating a new infrastructure that makes us going into for the next generations. And you know, we've got to get a hold of this. We've got to be able to reduce our debt, take our debt away. At the same time, we've got to put something back for tomorrow. So we've got to get out and promote Eastland County. You know, when you get in there and you get to digging and you get to looking at who's helping promote, this is part of the reason I feel that we are where we are. And we've got to come forth, we've got to stand, we've got to have ideas from people all over and bring business in here to get this debt behind us. And we can do it. But with debt, anytime, if it's a family or whatever it is, debt makes you struggle. We've got to get out of debt with less struggle.
Well, the best way to do this is we're going to have growth in the county where we have better business, more businesses come in for manufacturing. We're going to have to work at getting places come in to bring business. And the first thing we'll have to do is once we get the business, then we'll be able to create jobs to keep our younger people here. That's the first thing we need to do is start trying to create jobs, keep young people here, and not let them move off to Dallas-Fort Worth or Houston or Austin or whatever, to keep our kids and everything else around here to be able to make a living. And, you know, most of the time they move off to go to college, then they get a job everywhere else, you know, that they have to stay away from here and there's not any jobs where they can make a living and everything. And that's the main thing, is getting jobs so that we can make a living and keep our younger youth here in Eastland County to be able to come back and buy stuff and help us, for them build homes and everything, you know.
Okay.
Number 4.
Yeah. What are your views on the current levels of county debt?
Well, I believe the county debt is, of the magnitude that we have right now, is going to be hard to turn around. I kind of look at it like a ship that's coming in. You know how long that ship has to turn and turn and turn until it finally gets back to where it was. That's kind of the way this debt is. It's just a big, odious thing that's sitting out there, and it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of people working together to do it. It's not going to go away. It didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to go away. So everybody that's involved, all the departments, the courthouse, the commissioner's court, everyone will really need to put forth a lot of effort to make sure that we can undo what's happened in the last 4 years.
Okay, fifth question, and Mr. Griffin will be the first respondent. You all are candidates, chosen to be a candidate in the Republican Party primary. Do you agree with the tenets and principles of the Texas Republican Party platform?
Yes, I do. If I wouldn't have filed as a Republican. Pretty much been a Republican my whole life, and I just believe in everything they do.
Mr. Gentry?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, sir. Since you're a candidate in the Republican Party primary, do you agree with the tenets and principles of the Texas Republican Party platform?
Yes, I do. as a Republican, as a conservative, we put God first. I think everybody that is here wants to abolish abortion that is a Republican. It's got its issues, it's got some things in there that it's had its struggles with the last few years, but overall, as a Republican, I stand proud to represent Eastland County.
Well, as every platform goes, there's always some disagreement in it, but 99% of the platform of the Republican Party I agree with. There's every once in a while there's some that come up that to me seems like it's way out there in left field and everything where nobody can see it or whatever, you know. But 99% of the platform I agree with and support it too.
I do agree, and I support the Republican platform. And I believe in it, and I believe in this country, and I believe in this state, and I believe in Eastland County. We have a lot to be thankful for, and I think being a predominantly conservative Republican city and county, that we are very blessed.
I do agree with the Republican platform myself. I don't know if you've read it. I have. It is very informative to the public, for the people that are not in the loop, as they call it. It will show you the correct beliefs. It will show you what is the correct thing to stand for this United States. I mean, it does want to abolish abortion. It wants to make this world a better place, and the Republicans are on the right track doing that.
I might remind you, gentlemen, that there's provision in our rules tonight. If you can have a 1-minute additional comment on any of the questions after we've gone through the regular questioning, you can just raise your hand and you have an extra minute if there's something you wish you had said earlier. Okay. We're at number 6. We'll be back to Mr. Gentry for our first response. Do you think the county is doing enough to maintain roads and bridges? Why or why not?
No, I don't think the county's doing enough to maintain the roads and bridges, or they wouldn't be in the shape that they're in. As an outsider, not being there every day, I think the 5 of us up here are trying to figure out what's going on with the roads, why our roads are in such bad shape. I know it takes a lot of money today to go and to buy rock. It takes a lot of employees. It takes a lot to get out and clean the ditches where we don't have flooding issues, water standing in the roads. So we've got to come together and get this thing to where we've got good roads so that we can bring in good people that this county can prosper, and especially this precinct. There's roads to our east that there hasn't been a blade on them in no telling how long. And those people pay their taxes just like the rest of us.
Well, as everybody says, knows that they've been on county roads now, and they're rut boarded, they're washed out, they have potholes, you know. The first thing we're gonna have to do is check, see why the rut boards are there. You know, whether it's either operating the blade at a too high, fast speed, or if the equipment wore out and need to be replaced on the parts to keep the blade from bouncing all the time going down the county roads and everything, you know. That has a lot to do with on your rut boards and stuff like that, where your blade gets to bouncing up and down and everything. That's either the knuckle joints on the blade that controls the blade are wore out, or the operation of it is in a too fast a speed to keep it all smooth out and everything. You know, 2 or 3 things can happen to make all these rut boards. So equipment, you need to start and look at it first to find out if the equipment is adequate to do what the job you need to do. Then go back to your operator, see what is going on with him and everything. It's going to take a lot more than, because most of these roads didn't get this way overnight. It's going to take a little while to get them all done. Need to clean the bar ditches out so you'll have some material to put back on the roads, to try to build them up and smooth them out a little bit to keep the water off the roads is the main thing that you're going to have to do to keep from tearing the roads up. Because if you have potholes in it, they're going to fill up with water, and every time you hit one, it's going to splash dirt or whatever out. Usually when you grade your roads, you'll lose anywhere, and people say they don't believe me, but you'll lose anywhere from 15 to 25% of your road every time you grade it and everything by loosening up the base or whatever, and then the wind comes along with traffic and everything blows it off away from the road and everything, So that's one thing that needs to be addressed and everything there too.
Okay. Now we're in my neck of the woods. The last 2 years, we have been meticulously doing just exactly what Wendell just said. We've been cutting ditches, we've been crowning the road, we have been also cutting brush out away from the road. We have, and it was mentioned about the road to the far east of us, Tudor Road, which if you haven't ever gone down that road, you need to take a trip sometime. But we actually got it completely bladed, got ditches pulled where we could, where it wasn't so rocky that you can't pull a ditch with a blade. Also, we're working with FEMA. FEMA will be our salvation in one sense of the word, because if we didn't have FEMA right now, your tax dollars would be about 2 to 3 times higher. Your taxes would be because of FEMA. FEMA, the money that we're working with is already is money that FEMA has put forth to us. I agree there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I think we've started a pretty good effort to get things done right, to make sure that the roads stay pretty good. You need to drive out on them. If you don't believe it, don't just think that that we're up here and we don't want you to go look. Go take a look at the roads. And if you got any questions about how we're doing this, if you've got any thoughts or ideas or suggestions that we could do things better, then by all means, let's talk about it. I've been in Precinct 2, worked in Precinct 2. This is my 6th year. I've worked hand in hand with FEMA when they were here. I'm still doing all the FEMA paperwork, as well as driving a truck, hauling material, doing whatever else needs to be done. The roads in this county are the biggest infrastructure that this county has. We have to take care of them, and I agree. We had 2 floods, and we can blame it on that for 100 years, but they did a lot of damage to our roads. So, we're doing the best we can, and I think that if you'll just get out, drive out on County Road 575, we just finished up with it, right off 2214, take a little trip down through there. we call it Sheriff's Road. Some of you know why it's called Sheriff's Road. Because used to be several sheriffs that lived on that road. But if you want to take a look at it, just take some time and go do that.
I'm not going to speak for all 4 precincts because I'm sure the other 3 are doing the best job that they can as well. This precinct, I have drove down almost every county road in this precinct. They are very neglected. You will knock your mirrors off on some trees that stick out. You will have to go around tree stumps that are still falling in the ditches 3 years ago that have not been removed. I have physically seen them. I have physically seen the UPS truck get stuck in the middle of a dirt road because the potholes are so big. There's a lot of neglect in this county, and there's going to have to be a plan in place. There's going to have to be some type of something to get this under control. There's no other way to do it. You can't just willy-nilly it and just fly by the seat of your pants. In any business, you're going to have a plan in place and abide by that plan. And there's going to be disasters that come through, and you're going to have to adjust that plan. And you're going to have to adjust that plan to the best of your ability to make it the best that you can.
As Martin said, this is kind of our neck of the woods now. If I'm elected county commissioner, the roads are going to be maintained a lot different than what they are now. There will be ditches pulled, there will be crowning the road. As far as the rub boards, dry weather. Dry weather causes rub boards, a lot of it. We're dealing with it all over the county. You've got to, it's the ones that I've been down, there's plenty of material there if it's just pulled back up on the road and put on the road. As far as your pavements or your chip seal roads, those, you can't just go in and chip seal them and forget about them. You've got to maintain them too. You need a fog seal. They get cracks, water gets down those cracks, and when they just come apart. So you've got to maintain them also. FEMA has, it's like Martin said, if it wasn't for FEMA, we would really be in bad shape. We're working on FEMA work from back in 2016 still that we haven't got completed. So it's a good thing to have because rock ain't cheap, and it needs a lot of it around.